Welcome to Liza's Painting Parties. It is Wednesday and we will be starting very soon. I'm excited for this week. We're doing a very colorful elephant that you all picked as your top choice this past week on our vote. So yeah, it's going to be really fun. So I'm going to start in about 10 minutes or so. So if you can see me, you're in the right place. And we'll be starting, like I said, in about 10 minutes, just to make sure anyone who wants to join with me live can do so. If you start watching this and you can't do this right now, you can definitely watch this video after, either on my YouTube channel, Liza's Painting Parties, or you can watch it under the videos tab on the Facebook page as well. So either way is good. This is free, so if you can see me, I will be painting. I'll move it down so you can see my canvas and everything closer. The painting that we're going to be doing our own version of is this, this really colorful, powerful elephant. And so what I'll be doing in a little while, I'll be talking you through how we're going to approach this, because it can seem a little intimidating, but it's also quite fun to do something that's abstract like this. So I'll talk you through how I would approach painting this, and I'll give you some tips and tricks, and then we'll be doing our own versions of it, which will be very fun. This particular one, as you can see, is in a square. So I'm not going to be using a square canvas. I always use my canvas board. It's 11 by 14. So I'm going to be repurposing it onto on a portrait, I've decided. I thought about doing it on a landscape, but I think the portrait will be more impactful and really get the full like curve of that trunk. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So you can decide how you want to approach it depending on the canvas that you have. Also, in terms of supplies, so just make sure you also have some water. I usually have 2 containers of water, since I like to have clean water as we go, and that can get dirty quite fast. And if you have acrylic paint, so I use acrylic paint, so I speak and I teach from that perspective. If you have black, blue, yellow, red, and white, you can make any color, so we can do some mixing if necessary. If you have other pre-mixed colors, that's great too. This obviously is a very colorful piece. So I also have some pre-mixed orange and purple and green and pink, so I might dip into some of that. But if you don't, it's okay, and I'll talk you through how to mix the colors if you're not familiar or comfortable with it as well, okay? And all the paints I use are just basic crafting dollar store acrylic paint. So don't feel like you have to go and buy a bunch of expensive things to do this with me. I do everything from a very, I guess, cheap, or if a nicer way to say it is cost-effective approach, where it can be really nice and easily accessible for any of us to have fun and be artists and enjoy the process. So yeah, I also have my very, very, very dirty palette that I've been using for all of these 50+ paint parties that we've had, and I'll mix all my paint on that. Have some paper towel as well. I usually use that just to get some extra paint off, and water and whatnot from our brushes. And I'm very happy to say that I actually have brand new paintbrushes this week, which is very exciting, because anyone who's painted with me before knows that I've been using paintbrushes from my high school days, which is over 20 years ago at this point. So it's nice. So my birthday was last week, and my husband so graciously bought some beautiful, and they happen to be red, which I love, so pretty. And they're basically the same ones I had before, only they're new, which is nice. So if anyone is interested, I haven't used them yet, so we'll see how they go. But we got these Desserts 12 brushes, so very exciting. And then I also picked up this brush, which I'm excited to try. So this brush is it's called a cat's tongue brush. So look at the shape of it. Super cool. So I'm super excited to try that and see how that goes, because that will give me a nice fine point at times. If you see any things come up like on the side there that says like official link or whatever else, please don't like click on it or anything, because those are spam. So I basically try to go in and delete or ban these people so they don't do that. But they like to pop up usually at the start of the broadcast. So just don't click on any of those things. Okay, cool. But if you, in terms of paintbrushes though, what I suggest, I do have new ones like I said, but have a nice big one that you can get a lot of coverage. So like a nice broad brush, a medium size, and a fine point. Doesn't matter again what it is, but as long as you have like 3 sizes, usually is able to cover everything that we are doing. And I don't really give specific sizes because it depends on the canvas that you're using. So like I said, I'm using an 11 by 14. So this brush is a size 12, so that gives me a lot of really good coverage when I want to get like the background in or a lot of large spaces. And then this medium brush, this one's a 4, so that I just liked the size of it. But again, you can always just go whatever feels good. And this cat's tongue brush is a 4 as well, but it has like, I don't even know, I'm so excited to use it because it's like such a fine point. Let's see how that goes. All right, cool. So we'll get started in just a few minutes. If you're joining me and you're painting live with me, please feel free to say hi in the comments and let me know where you're painting from. I'm here in Ajax, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto. And it was a beautiful day today. Thank goodness. The weather was nice and we went for a nice walk yesterday, which was great. Oh, thank you, Tina. So yeah, so definitely very nice to see the spring weather hopefully coming, but I feel like it's like a fake spring and we're gonna get like tons of snow soon or something. I don't trust it. Fantastic. Oh, there's another one. All right, let me just get rid of that. Okay, so yeah, so I'm really excited to do this, and then like I said, what I'll do is in a little moment or two, we'll talk through how to approach this painting. Bonnie, so we are going to paint our version of this very colorful elephant. So for anyone who's joining me for the first time or who's new to the painting parties that I've been doing, what I do is I find a bunch of different images that I love online, whether they're on Pinterest or photos or Facebook or wherever, and I present 3 options to everyone who follows me on the paint party site, and everyone votes on them. So every Saturday at noon, my time, Eastern Standard Time, I'll put 3 options on the page, and everyone votes. And the one that has the most votes by the Tuesday following at noon, then I will declare it the winner, and then that's the one we'll paint all together. So I've never painted this before. I have painted a colorful elephant in the past, but it definitely was different than this. So I talk you through how I would approach it, and then I share my best practices, and then I definitely encourage all of you to share your best practices too, because there are some incredibly talented people out there who have much more experience than I do. And yeah, and we just have lots of fun doing it together. It is colorful. I love it. I'm so excited to do it. I feel like it has such depth and like richness to it. So yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll start talking about how I'd like to approach this painting, and then we can go from there because you guys might have your own ideas as well. So first thing that you may or may not want to do is you might want to kind of sketch lightly where you want your elephant to be on your canvas, just to get an idea of where it is, and then when we start putting in the background color, we can kind of focus on putting in the background color in the areas where that's going to show up the most. And it will give you just a guide, and you can kind of make sure that's where you like it. So I think we'll probably use that tactic this time. So that's the first thing. The second thing is if we take a look and see how the color is on this. Sorry, my light is shining. Yeah, it is, right? Sorry, Gloria. I just noticed that I have a light just above there, but it definitely is annoying. Like this is better. Okay, for now. So with this as well, you don't have to use the same colors that this artist used on their painting, right? But what'll be cool to look at and to pay attention to is why they chose certain colors for certain spots, and how, if you're going to do your own palette, what to look for. So if you notice, you'll see all where that yellow is, right? That's all where like you would get your sun that would hit, basically. So all of your highlights. So they use the yellow very strategically on the spots where like it would be brighter and the sun would be hitting. So I would still suggest using a very bright, light color in those same areas. On the flip side, you'll notice here, on anywhere there would be a shadow, so there's a shadow of the trunk here that falls on the other part of the trunk there. They're using like a really dark blue or a purple to really have that shadow and to show that up. So again, you'll see that darker colors anywhere there'd be a bit of a shadow. Similarly with the eye, you'll also see the eye is kind of like a brown, like a maroon color. So again, it's a bit darker because that's where it's folded and it kind of is more sunken. So then you have it a little bit darker. So they're very strategic in putting the lighter colors where the highlight is, the darker colors for the shadow areas, and then kind of a middle range of colors. So they have like kind of a bit of an orange and blue palette, and they play around with that a little bit in the middle ground areas, right? Also, you'll see that there is a black line. So we'll be doing that almost at the very end, essentially. But this black line also is where there's shadow or the folds of the elephant's skin, right? So it's pretty much fully a shadow. And that gives it, again, more emphasis and more detail. And you'll notice that that black line is not on anywhere where there's a highlight. So a couple of cool things to pay attention to. If you want to try to mimic the color of this, totally go ahead and do so. If you want to do something totally different, I would just say try to utilize that as your guide. So have like the highlights still in lighter colors and the shadows in the darker colors. And just pay attention to how they've done it there to get best results. Cool. Hey Susan, I'm glad you're joining. So it's really up to you how you want to approach it. For me, I'm going to do it in portrait. So I'm going to do it this long ways here, the canvas upright. So I think I'm going to prefer it this way just because I really want to get, I feel like having the trunk will make it feel like larger going this way. I don't know. It may make sense or may not. It makes sense to me. But you can do it whichever way you would prefer. Okay, because this one is definitely like a square, so kind of throws us off a little bit. Okay, in terms of not using a square. I'm just going to make sure there's no other random sketchy people putting comments. I think we're all right. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to start by doing is I'm going to be moving the camera down so you can see it. Before I start as well, if you do like, again, these are free parties, and I have tons of videos. This is the 56th free paint party I've done. All the previous 56 painting parties are still up, and you can watch them whenever you like. So if you like this, check out the other ones. And if you would like to host your own private party or virtual party, definitely hit me up and we can definitely arrange that. Or if you'd like to support me, there's a PayPal link as well in the description of the event, so you can definitely do that if you want. Not necessary, just wanted to throw it out there because some people have asked before and it's always appreciated. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are going to get started. Awesome. Hi, Jen. Hi, Nicole. I'm so glad you are joining. Oh, thank you, Lakin. Is it Lakin? Lakin? I don't think I'm saying your name right. Thanks so much. Oh, awesome. Karen says, my mom's sister are joining for Paint Live for the first time. I'm so excited. That's great. I love having a bunch of people. I can't wait to see your paintings. I love seeing when like groups do it too, because everyone has like their own approach to it. I love it. Valerie, this is out of your comfort zone. Yeah, this is a little out there for sure. A few tips too before, and I'm saying a bunch of tips now, and you're like, we haven't even started painting yet. I'm gonna forget by the time we get there. But what you can do is when we're putting the paint on, try to put thin layers on so that it dries faster, so that once the acrylic paint dries completely, you can easily layer the colors on top. And so that will help a lot with this type of painting. Also, when we start doing this and start putting the colors, I remember the first time I played with this kind of abstract look, and I thought it looked so bad at first. So when you start, you might feel like, oh gosh, what am I doing? This is horrible. Just keep going. Don't get worried. Just keep going. If you end up mixing colors and it gets really funky and getting an ugly color, either you can wipe it if it gets that bad, or you can just let it dry and you can paint right over it. So don't get discouraged by it, because it can feel intimidating. But we'll get through it together, okay? All right. I'm going to move the camera down because you don't need to see my face. I'm just gonna move my screen over so I can still see your comments. Bring this down about there, and I'll move this a little bit so you can see my full canvas. All right, there's still a weird light on there. Is that light? No. Come on, let's come down. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, I'm sorry. That light might have to stay there for now, just because I need that in this dark, dark room. Oh, I'm so happy. Hi, a 9-year-old. My name is Samara. I'm so glad you're joining. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you have fun with this. Yeah, Nicole, exactly. We did a painting a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, by Erica Hawks, and she is a awesome, awesome artist, contemporary artist. And it looked so easy, and then when you started doing it, you're like, oh my gosh. And yeah, exactly like that. So this is gonna feel a little bit like that. So don't feel discouraged at all. Let's just have fun. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to start, which again, as anyone who's joined me, I normally don't sketch in. I kind of just like jump in full force and like see what happens. But we're going to start with the sketch, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see my pencil line, but well, you know, you can just imagine if you can't see. I don't know what else to say about that. Okay, so where do I want my head to be? So I want it to come here. I want my trunk. So I think I'm actually going to start with my trunk, which seems like a weird place to start, but hey. Okay, so I want my trunk to be kind of like a big focal point. So I'm going to get a nice swooshy kind of trunk going. And again, this is just to get an idea of where and how this is going to sit. Okay, so at the end of the trunk, you want it to be thinner, and as it gets closer, it gets fatter and bigger, and then attaches to the head. And then I have the head that comes up. Maybe like that. Maybe my head's going to actually be the top of the head. It won't actually go away on the page. Again, this is a square, so being a different shape might change it slightly. I feel like the head would kind of stop there, I think. Can you see my line? Oh yeah, you guys can see it. All right, it's not horrible. Okay, and then the trunk kind of goes behind the head a little bit. Cool. And then we're going to have the ear, and the ear we see here. It kind of rhymes. You see where this is twisting. Where is that? It's kind of like over here, like kind of where this loop here happens is where the ear kind of starts, and it comes down, and then it loops, I don't know, and it just kind of comes back. Okay, and then maybe if the ear's here, then we have, I guess, the rest of the elephant body kind of a little bit in the frame-ish. All right, and then we're going to have these, and so, okay, when you're doing this part, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be putting a lot of lines and a lot of like detailing, right? So when you look at the trunk, there's a lot of like, it's not straight. Like an elephant's skin is super wrinkly. So when we actually put in the detailing later at the end, we're going to give it kind of like a wrinkle feeling. Right now, it's just kind of like where I want it to sit. Okay, so we know that the elephant's going to live here. Fantastic. Oh, wow. Sorry, guys. I missed some of the comments. I'm so sorry. Hi, Suzanne. Awesome. Hi, Gushen. Hey, Dawn. I'm so happy you're joining, too. Hi, Mimi from Bonaire. Where's Bonaire? Where's that, Mimi? It sounds like a cool place. Is it in Canada or is it somewhere else? And your last name is Enix. That's a cool name. Lake in Enix? That's like a kick-ass name. Just saying. Like, it sounds like a superhero. Maybe you are. It's okay. You don't have to tell anyone. Don't say if that's like your secret. Okay, back to my thing. Okay, I get distracted because I like people. Okay, so next up, we have where the tusk is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so where is that? So we have a little bit of space. So then it kind of comes about here, I suppose. it comes and it comes out. I feel like my tusk is like, well, let me see. How big is it? So let's see. So I'm doing this. Okay. Yeah, you know what? It's okay. I started doing it and I was like, oh, I'm going a little crazy. But no, I think that's working. Okay, and they're kind of curved. It's not like a point. It does get smaller, but it's still more of a point. The one in the back is further away. So it looks a little smaller. This one might actually go off my canvas. I think it might. I don't know. Is that working? It looks weird right now, but that's all right. It always looks weird to start. Okay, so I have where I want my elephant to exist. And so now I'm going to start building in my background. That's what I'm going to start off with, because I'm going to have my elephant on top of that. And I always start with the background of my painting. You don't have to. Obviously, you can always change things up. And if you prefer to do it a different way, you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. So my background, I'm going to stick, I think I do want it to be, I don't know, I kind of want it to be like a gray blue, but I'm digging the deep blue of it. So, okay, let's go with my blue. And then I'm going to put a little bit of black. And I'll show you my palette in a moment just so you can see my proportions. Whenever you use black paint, the black paint is super powerful and it will pretty much take over everything with very little effort. So you'll see that I put like quite a bit of blue paint, a little bit of black, and a medium size of white right now. I don't put a bunch of acrylic paint on my palette because acrylic paint is water-based and it will air dry very quickly. Oh man, I'm gonna use my new brush. This is so exciting. Okay, so I'm gonna use my big brush for coverage. Let's see how this works. Okay, I'm gonna just get my blue to start, and I'm just gonna start painting the back. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is a different experience. My other brush was, yeah. I definitely didn't take care of my other brushes very well. I mean, from high school too, yeah, definitely let paint sit in them. So I'm not going to worry too much about going over the line I just drew in, because again, that's a guide, and I'm just going to go probably a little bit below it. So I want my background to be painted on first. And right now I'm just putting my blue on. I'm just trying to do a thin layer of it. I think I'm going to get like a little touch of black, just kind of throw it on, and then I'm just going to mix it in a little bit, just to darken it up slightly. I want a little bit more black, actually. I want it to be darker in this corner. And for the background, I don't want my background to be very smooth, so I'm kind of going like X's or like swooshes. Again, anyone who hasn't painted with me before, I don't use technical terms. I use a lot of sounds to describe what I'm doing. Okay. And I do tend to mix a lot of times on my actual canvas itself, like my paint colors. If you don't like that tactic, again, that's fine. You can always pre-mix or get like a darker blue on your palette first and then apply. Then there's no, like, obviously there's better techniques or ways to do things, but a lot of it is whatever you're comfortable with and what makes you happy and what you enjoy. I know for me, sometimes I get too in my head about like the right way to do things, and I want you to feel free about this process. Ooh, that's a lot of black. Ah, okay, that's okay. It's going to be darker in this area now. It's fine. if you're any canvas you're using as well, you might want to ensure that you're painting the sides and the bottom of the canvas, especially if it's going to be hung up and you can see those areas. It will look like a nice continuous painting that way. Oh yes, and I didn't mention this yet today. I do mention it often, but make sure you're wearing clothes that you don't care if they get dirty, because acrylic paint, once it dries, even though it's water-based, can be quite difficult to get out of material. It soaks into your fibers very, very easily. I think I'm actually going to switch into my medium brush. I want to do some more blending, and I'm feeling like this brush is just a tad too big for what I want right now. So when you're taking the paint out of your brush, it's good to like really vigorously move it around in your water container, and that will take all of the paint off. So then when you actually have it on your paper towel, like nothing is left on it, which is the best way to do it. And when you want to store your brush, from what I've learned, don't keep them like this, especially if they're wet. Have them flat down on a piece of paper towel so that it continues to soak anything off of it. Very important. You don't want water to get down into this part of the handle, because that can ruin your brushes. Things I will heed from now on. Alright, so I'm just going to use my medium-sized brush because I want to get a little bit more detail and mixing happening. Also, if you notice too, in our inspiration image, it's a bit lighter too around where certain parts of where the elephant is. So we're going to make it a little bit lighter in those areas too. For now, I want to just get some coverage, and I want to make sure my canvas is fully covered, and then I'm going to put in some of those elements too. So here I'm doing like another layer on top of the paint that has pretty much dried, and that's just going to make the color more opaque. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I've always been a proponent of using like cheap things. And granted, these brushes weren't super expensive. I think they were like 25 bucks for 12 at Desserts, but wow, using new brushes, I'm like really happy. I can feel the difference. My control. I'm gonna cry. I'm so happy. No, I'm not gonna cry. I do get emotional over weird things, but I don't actually feel like I'm gonna cry over this. Yeah, so it looks like we are approaching our 1 year of this whole, at least in North America, the whole COVID lockdown and everything kind of grinding to a halt. It's coming up, I think, on the 13th, if I'm not mistaken, because it was like Friday the 13th, I believe, was the last day before March break and whatnot of last year, and of course, Friday the 13th, right? Can't believe it's been already a year. Okay, so I'm just doing the same thing here, just getting it a little bit darker. I like to see some of the paint brush strokes, but I don't really like to see like the canvas lines. So I like to glue a second coat, and it'll happen the same thing on the elephant too. I'll probably end up doing certain colors, and I'm going to want to do another coat on top. I don't really like to see the canvas, like the texture of the canvas too much. I like to feel how opaque the paint is, and I like it to notice the paintbrush strokes are fine. That's what I prefer. But again, it's up to you what you like to. Hi, Linda. Oh, it's okay if you're late. No worries. I'm good. I hope you're good too. I don't know if it looks a little dark. It's so dark you can hardly see. It blends into my chair. I wonder if it's orange actually. Does that make it better? No, not at all. Everything's black back there. Oh, you're at 13-year anniversary. Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I remember going to your wedding. That's nuts. It's tripping me out how fast time goes by. And I know like everyone says this. But boy, oh boy. I'm just gonna take most of the paint out of that because I want to get the black out. So I want to use some white as well. So I'm not going to worry too much if it's not fully out the blue because I still want to use that. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of white and I want to play with that and see what happens. And I have to remember to do that middle part there too. So I'm going to add a little bit along like my edge to give it a bit of lightness around where my elephant is going to live. Get some blue. I don't know why I have Black Eyed Peas stuck in my head today. That's a weird song to have. Oh, Mama, don't go away. We need you. I'm just gonna lighten it up around. On the 13th. I forgot you got married on the 13th. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty significant anniversary. 13 years on the 13th. That's very cool. Actually, yeah, I don't know, wait. My husband and I have been together. We haven't got married, so it's just like our, like, I don't know, we call it like when we like first dated anniversary, I guess. So is it 13 years or is it 14 years? Must be 14 years. If you guys got married, it was 13 years ago, and I was there. Yeah, so we must be together 14 years. That makes sense. That's crazy. So I'm just kind of going around and adding a little bit of white, and then I'm trying to keep it lighter. And then I'm using a little bit of blue just to blend it a bit more into the background to kind of give it a bit of a gradual change. And I noticed too it's actually not that light around here, but that's okay. I'm still giving it a nice little highlight all around my elephant. Stuff needs to be darker. There we go. A bit of black. Make it, mix it, mix it, mix it. Awesome. Hope everyone's doing good, having fun so far. some more blue in here. A little bit of black to darken it all up. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Put some more white. When I get a song in my head, like it doesn't go away very easily. I'll probably be singing this for like the next couple of days. And I'm bothering my husband about it. Because I know it gets stuck in his head, and we definitely have different tastes in music, so even though it's bothering me that I have the same song in my head, he'll be like really annoyed. He'll be like, ugh, pop dance music, ugh. Ah, yes, I do remember that, Nicole. So Nicole and her husband used to work with my husband. And you're right, I do remember that. Okay, so it looks pretty sloppy right now, but that's okay. Because we just are doing the background. Before you build a house, you gotta have some foundation, right? Gotta have this background going. Well, I guess that's not really true. I guess you could have done the elephant first if you really wanted to. It really doesn't matter. But this is my approach to it, and that's what I like to do. Okay. I need to get in that little corner, make it nice and blue too. All right, let's get some blue. Let's get some white, and then we have a light blue. I'll just get in here. Get this background a similar vibe. And again, I'm kind of going over where it would actually be normally. Not worrying too much about it. Okay, cool. That's the little spot there. And that's cool. Okay. I'll touch up some of these spots until I kind of like it better. Blend that in a little bit. Okay, cool. I don't know if I like it up there. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so I'm probably going to keep using this medium-sized brush to start putting in some color and to start playing with the elephant itself. So yeah, so I have my background. I don't know if you guys can, oh, you can kind of see there's a bit of a gradient happening. So I kind of just have it a little bit lighter and it's a little bit darker. And again, these lines are probably not going to stay because I'm going to end up putting color right on top of it when I start putting in the tusks and other aspects of the elephant. So it's just a messy line right now, but we'll clean that up and it will look nicer as we go. So basically just play with the background until you're pretty happy with the feeling of it. If you're finding it difficult to do, like, again, don't feel weird about going right over the elephant where you've drawn it. It's totally fine because we'll be able to add in that afterwards. Okay, so now it's time for me to add more paint onto my palette. So I'm going to put red and I'm going to put, shake that first. That would be helpful. Put some red, put some yellow. And I need to put some more blue because I used all of it that I put on earlier. Fantastico. And if you already have pre-mixed colors, you can, again, feel free to use the pre-mixed colors too. It's up to you. Like I said, I might do that for some things. Sometimes it's just a little bit easier in the moment, but it's not necessary. So when we start to put on the color, like I said, we want to think about putting darker colors where like the shadow hits and putting lighter colors where there is a highlight. Similar to, you want to think about layering it, right? So when we start to put this on, if you're going to put on this bright yellow section here, if you look at it, this kind of goes on top of all the other colors. So we want to kind of start with whatever the colors are going to go, the first layer of colors are going to go on. And there's no real right or wrong way to do this because, again, once your paint dries, you can always go back and put some more details on top of that, right? So don't worry too much about that. Right now it's a matter of getting the color on more or less where you want it, and then having all these like fun, more like specific little lines and details. That will come probably on your second layer or the third layer, okay? So this is the time where you're gonna start putting colors on and you're gonna be like, what am I doing? Okay, you ready? Okay. So what shall we start with first? I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I think I'm going to start with some of like the mid-range. So I'm going to apply some color in here, kind of like a light medium blue-ish. Stick with my blues for a little bit. So I'm just putting a little bit of white into my blue. And I'm just going to start putting some in here. Okay. Stick a little bit of blue in this area. needs actually a little bit lighter. Let's throw some white on top of that. Okay. And then we're gonna put some blue, but it's a little darker. Where are we gonna go with that? We're gonna put some here, I guess, on the ear. Okay. So it looks weird. Yeah. It should look weird. If it looks like really, really good, then I don't know how you're doing it. Because it's tricky to do this. Okay, so let's get some a little bit darker going on. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of red in there to kind of get like a dark purple. So I'm putting some blue and some red and putting a little bit of black and getting like a very, very dark purple. That's what I'm looking at right now. And let's start putting in some here. So there's going to be a bit of a shadow here happening. It's going to be a shadow like here. Should probably change the timer on that iPad so it doesn't turn off all the time. Okay, and then we have a little bit up here. But again, we're probably going to put some more layers on. We're going to come back and do some of these after. I'm noticing there's some other nice colors happening. Okay. Where else do we have a little bit of shadow? Where else do we want to do this? Probably over here. Okay. So we're very odd and abstract right now. Okay, where else do we want to put some of this darker color maybe down here? I think it shows a little bit darker down there. Oof, I went a little bit too light. I want you a little darker than that. Again, it looks like the shadow's actually on top of that red, so when we put that red in, we're gonna have to come back and put all of this darkness back in. Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna go over to the red right now and play with some of the red. Okay, now my red is super watery, so it's not gonna show up very easily. But I know we have red here. So watery. Oh, I don't like this red at all. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? This red is like a watercolor. It's so light. So if that's happening, I'm definitely gonna need more than one coating of that. I might try a different bottle of red because sometimes that happens when you're buying cheap paint. Some of them one bottle can literally be different than the other one. So I might open up another one just to see if it is after. We'll see. Okay, and then we're gonna put some red up here. I'm just gonna put like a blop of red in this area for now, and then we'll put some more details of things after. Okay. So a lot going on in this area. Mix some yellow into it. My yellow's a little bit thicker. This red is driving me crazy. I'm gonna create it to make it too orangey, but yeah, that's already so much better. Oh my gosh. Lack of opacity with the red was driving me crazy. Okay. It's kind of where the eye's gonna live eventually. Bring that up. Okay, so again, this is the part where you trust the process. So I know Valerie's is probably stressing out a little bit right now, if I'm not mistaken. And other people might be as well, and that's okay. Because again, right now mine looks very, very weird, and that's fine. Because now it's just layering. Okay. I'm gonna put some orange at this part here. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter, get like a lighter orange happening. And put in some more here. Some orangey vibes up here. Okay. It's just so light. I just need to go on top of that already. Make it a little bit more opaque. Okay. Where else do we want to have some more of this orange? Not on the ear. The ear has all these cool colors besides that yellow. There's a little bit of orange on top of that, but oh yeah, maybe up here too. It's got a bit lighter than that. Okay. So this section, which I'm kind of missing there, but we can add that in afterwards too. Okay, cool. So let's go to another color. I haven't touched the tusks yet. I might leave them for a little bit. Hey, Shannon. It's too advanced for you, but you're learning to watch. Yeah, that's a great practice as well. But remember, like, this is, yeah, this is, it looks intimidating, but it's not too bad. It's kind of weird with the colors, of course. Like, even right now, like, you look at my painting, you're like, that is not right. But as you continue going on, it will start coming to life. Hey, Joe. Oh, nice. I'm glad you just started. Yeah, this is a really, really nice, beautiful painting. I'm really glad that it was chosen. It's definitely a challenge. And isn't that the fun ones, right? Let's have a nice challenge. Okay, so let's get some yellow on here. Okay, and then more in this curve, and more in this curve. Let's kind of throw some yellow in that area. And there's some yellow in here. Crown of the head is bright. Okay. We have some back here too. Okay, and then here on the ear. Okay, let's get this nice. Okay, cool. Okay, let's play with green. So let's get some blue and my yellow and just get a nice green going. So the one thing when you have dollar store paints, the pigments aren't like pure blue or pure yellow or however you want to look at it. They're usually different mixes of things, and sometimes it like isn't really the right color, so I am going to just use my pre-mixed green to get a bit more of a richer color. So when I mixed, this blue is called Copenhagen blue. I had another one called Peacock blue, and it would create like a very different green when I mix it into my yellow. So this is still very too blue for what I want, and that's the one from the actual bottle. So sometimes it's hard to get the exact pigments from dollar store paints because they already are pre-mixed in a way that have already more like of one shade or another into it. So yeah, just as a cautionary approach. So I'm going to start with this green I mixed myself, and then maybe I'll add some of the other one. wasn't sure if I liked it fully. Okay, so I'm just going to put in, pretty much just want to cover everything on my canvas. I want my full canvas to have paint on it of some color is my purpose right now. So I'm going to put in some more here. And then we'll start putting in some more details as we go. Okay. I kind of like this green now. Now that I'm putting it on the canvas, I didn't think I liked it as much, but it's kind of a nice shade. Okay. I have some green in here. It is a little bit darker. I don't know if that's going to be dark enough for me. And then in here, it's kind of there's some purple happening in there too. Just going to get some green in this area. Okay. There's some that comes down this way too. Okay. And you'll start to see when you start to go over other dry areas that you're going to get more of an impact of color, and it's going to start coming together a bit more, and you have more control over it too. But we're still in this stage of like just getting color on this elephant so that we can play with it and add more details as we go. Okay. Okay, what else I'm going to do with green? Do I want to put any more green right now? I don't think so. Yeah, I think we'll move on from the green. We have kind of like a brown going on over there. So if you mix your like green and red together, you'll get a kind of a grayish brown. Put some yellow into it, it will kind of lighten it up a little bit. Have kind of like a weird brown happening. There you go. Okay. And some more kind of around here, I suppose. Okay. It's kind of more of a lighter blue. And we have more browns and stuff in here, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Where else do we want to put a little bit? Maybe some here. I'm going to put a little bit here. Okay. And let's make some more orange. I'm just going to put in, so we're putting in a little bit of this detail kind of around here. Okay. I need my thin brush to do more of that. Okay. Cool. Lots of colors on this guy. The water's already so dirty. Both of them. Okay. Still want to use this brush more. Awesome. Okay, where else do you want to go? So I still have some canvas here, and that's kind of like a really dark blue. So let's put that in. Oh, that would be a little bit too much. Start putting in a few like little swoops and streaks on how you want some of the color to flow. Okay, and then there's some darker blue in here. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to work in this area here and just get some blue area. So I put the darker blue and I'm just getting the lighter blue just to start defining it a little bit. Now we're just going to start to play with some of the shapes and the lines. So there seems to be some more blue on this side. I'm just starting with the ear just because it felt right. But you can start anywhere you want on it, really. So I'm just kind of looking here and then I'm just putting in some of the shapes carefully. And the lines. Cool. Just kind of getting some nice shapes happening. Okay, cool. Okay, what else? What else we want to do? Another blue line here, I think. Nice. Nice. Okay, I think I want to go back to my green and put in some detailing also on the ear with the green. See, now that you have, like I said, the like your base down, when you start to apply more detail and more of the specific color, it will pop. A lot more. It'll look pretty nice. It's going around with a thin, still with my medium-sized brush, just carefully creating very neat strokes, if and when possible. It's tricky sometimes. Kind of cool. I want to keep some of those little spikies going on. Okay, I want this to be a little bit darker, and a little bit of black. But a little bit of black basically turns my whole green into black. So it's very tricky. Okay. I'm kind of making my own, taking from the inspiration and just putting my own kind of color. It's still the same kind of idea, but I'm not following the exact pattern. Okay, I'll go back to my regular green. Okay, neat. Okay, let's go up here and play with the green up here. Okay. Oh, thanks so much, Carol. Again, it can feel intimidating, but just take it step by step. Get the color down first in these weird splotchy ways, and then our next layer, when we start putting things on top, it will add a lot more to it. Okay, cool. All right, what else do I want to do? I think I want to do like a light, take a light blue and the ear still, play it still. So this will probably, I know it's been just about an hour now. So this does take quite a bit of time, I would say, to get all these other details in. Normally I try to keep this so we have another hour or so. If it goes longer, I'm okay with staying on too. But this can take a lot of time just to do all the detailing, to add more and more on. I know when I did the other elephant I had done, it took me, I think, about like 4 hours. just to play with it. I also did like a tiger and I did like a giraffe in the same kind of idea. Very fun, but it can take a long time, especially when you aren't going off like someone else's idea and you're kind of trying to think of your own ways to put the color down. Oh man. And question yourself. Okay, all right, let's go back to my darker blue. Okay, let's make it darker. Come up here. Ooh, that's too red. Okay, cool. I think I still want to use that purple, a darker shade also down here too a little bit. This whole area, that color actually. I think I kind of like that more than that. Okay. I wish I had music at this time. I'm not really talking much. Okay. So I kind of have the same kind of vibe going on from here to here. So you have kind of like some more details. There's a banana on the ear. That's hilarious. You're totally right. It does look like a banana. That's amazing. Now that's a cool concept, right? Like you paint like different elements that kind of come together to form what you're trying to do. That would be super cool. It's true. It does totally look like a banana. That's so funny. Okay, let's continue under here with this Maybe I shouldn't do the dark color yet. Oh well. Oh, I'm already on it, so I'll just darken this up a little bit. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. I'm so glad you shared that. That's so funny. It does look like a banana. I really want to do the orange first. Yeah, I do. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to put orange kind of first. Kind of a block. Okay. And then we'll get red. Oh, this red is so thin, it's killing me. Okay. Got some more color like that. Okay, I think that works. Maybe a little bit too light though. Darken that up again. Okay, I'll leave that there. I make this look so easy. Thanks, Joe. I try to show you how easy it can be. Again, it's definitely interesting to do things that are abstract. I know for me it makes my head hurt when I first started to play around in the style because my brain it doesn't really understand it. I'm gonna touch up the banana. It's not a banana, but it definitely looks like one. Just gonna add a little bit more definition to some areas. Now that we have it going, there we go. I have more, there's more lines going on here with this. It does kind of come up more. So I'm going to bring up the yellow higher. It isn't really where it should be. Yeah, it should kind of be more like that, right? That looks a little bit better. And let me put some orange around that. Okay, Let's go back to my orange. Okay. So sometimes when there's like little areas that I just want to smooth a little bit, I add a little bit of water on my paintbrush just to get a bit of a smoother line. I find that helps sometimes, but you don't want to add a lot of water or else it might just water down your paint too much, and that's not, you don't want that to happen. This doesn't show up very nicely if that's the case. And then I want to bring this down this way too, in orange. I don't know, I think that works. That looks alright. Exactly, Veronica. An abstract curious elephant. I love it. It's a great description. So fun. So I'm feeling pretty happy with this area, with my ear and the base here. And again, we're still going to be putting in like black afterwards to give it that pop. And I'm going to do it at the end because that's, I think, probably my favorite part. Because when you add that, then you're like, oh my god, I'm the best artist. At least that's how I feel. When you put that detail in, it's like, oh yeah, look at me. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but I do. Okay, I think I need to put my hair up. I'm getting serious. We need to get to the head of the elephant. Or maybe the trunk. I don't know where I want to go first. I think I kind of want to play with the trunk first. Yeah, let's do that first. Okay, cool. So maybe we will do like the red and the orange vibes. Now it's nice and dry. At this point, you could always move into like a finer brush if the medium brush isn't working the way you want it to work for these like lines. It's really up to you, whatever is working better for you. Okay. So I'm going to keep most of this in this red, and then we're going to put more colors on top to create more detail. Start like that. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I will definitely need more refiner brush to get in some of those details. I don't want to change it though. Okay, so I want to go and do some of this like kind of greeny blue type vibe happening there. So let's do that. Just getting some blue. Making a green, but more of like a blue green kind of vibe. Maybe a little too light. Put a little bit of black in it just to make it a little darker. Let's see if that works for what I want. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so we're gonna have this kind of come around this curve. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have this come around this curve. Okay. Okay, and then okay, I really want some green with a dark green. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit. Okay, so now what? Now what should we do? I agree. Can I rewatch this? Yeah, absolutely. So this will be available on my YouTube channel, Liza's Painting Parties, or under the videos tab, and all the parties are there, so you can watch any of them whenever you so desire. Sharon chose black canvas. Oh no! You know, that's not really a, I don't know, I wouldn't say it was a big mistake. I can see where you're going with it because then the colors could really pop on it. So I totally get why you went with the black canvas. It's tricky with the paints that you use. So if you're using like our dollar store paints like I am, like I said with my red is like so thin, so it's very hard to cover. So sometimes you might need to maybe even put like almost like paint your elephant in white first so that you can have white as your, where all your other colors are going to come off of, if that makes sense. So you almost want to like have a silhouette of like a white elephant, let it dry fully, and then put the colors on the white. That's what I would suggest going, because yeah, black can be so tricky, especially with like the quality of paint you use. And I'm sure it's the same with different types of paint. Again, I use really cheap paints. And Nicole says she feels like it'll take her a couple hours. Yeah, absolutely. Like, don't feel like you have to get this all done in one session. Maybe this is something that you start now, you put it aside, you do a little bit later. That's totally fine. And like I said too, like I'm planning to go probably until a little bit after 8, but if it also takes a little bit longer too, again, depending on how things go, like I don't know if I'll end up fully finishing it in the session. But what I will promise to do is regardless is, especially in this area here that I feel like I'm pretty well done, I'll go over and do like the black lines so you can see how that works. But I'm going to try to get as much, if not all of it done during this time, but in half an hour it's like, we'll see. It's like my own self-imposed limits. I remember watching some shows or documentary about Bob Ross and how he would paint his beautiful paintings in half an hour, and he made it a point to train himself to do that to fit into the television time slot because he wanted to make sure that he could show everyone how to complete the painting in that time limit. And I think that's such a cool approach. So I try to stay within that, but that's, I guess the thing is they're not my original artworks, and I don't try to stay in that time for you guys, and I still take at least 2 hours usually. But he's just like so amazing. And really just tries to make things so accessible, right? Like anyone can do this, just, there's no mistake, let's just keep going, like just happy accidents. I love it. I love all of those mantras. Okay, let's play with some of this yellow. I feel like I want to use a thinner brush, but I'm going to just go with it and see what happens. Okay. Okay, I think it's working. It's working all right. I still want to put some more color in here, so that's why I was kind of like debating whether I should start doing this yellow, because I think I still want to put more colors in other spots, but silly. Okay, then what else do we want to go with this yellow here? And in here, slightly. Cool. All right, and then I want to make like that all the way around. All right, so now we're getting some more details on that. I use Premier and Liquitex, pretty thick. Really? That's interesting. That's good to know, because like I said, I don't have like any experience using anything other than my dollar store paint. So I know Liquitex is considered really a good quality. So it is interesting. But that would be difficult to cover it like that. Good to know. Okay, I want to keep doing this. Okay. Which color shall I play with next? I think maybe go into the greens. I don't want to do some reds. I think I'm going to go with my reds and my oranges. Play with that a little bit. Okay, so we have some red coming down. Whee. Okay. This red is so thin, it's driving me crazy. Okay. I'll play with orange. You know what? I'm going to use some of my pre-mixed orange. It's about the same shade as what I created. Only it won't take me as long to dip my brush in and use it. So, for the sake of time, I will do this instead. Ooh, maybe it's pretty thin too. Come on, orange, get with the program. Okay. Okay, bring this up and down. Okay, cool. Lots of bright, bright colors. Some orange up in here too. I want to have a little bit to play with in here. Cool, fun. Okay, I think I'm going to try my really fine brush. I'm very excited to try it. So this one's doing a good job, but there's some thinner areas that I want to get at. This brush is holding a lot of paint in it, and I gotta make sure I clean that out properly. Should be okay for a little bit there. All right, let's try it. Oh, Nicole says Artist Law from Michaels is $5 each and pretty good. Oh, that's good to know. That's not too bad. That's worth it. Like if you're getting at least like the basic colors and stuff. Be like what, like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, and you get the 5 basic ones. That's a good idea. Okay, I'm gonna try this like cat's tongue brush and see how it goes. I'm like scared and excited. But that should give me a nice line, hopefully. We'll see. So I'm gonna do my fine point just to get some more details around here. I'm like scared to use this. I haven't touched it in paint yet. Okay. We're gonna do it now. Okay. So blue paint. Don't want blue. I wanted a little bit like that purpley color I had. Okay, so this brush is tricky to mix with because it's very thin. Okay, let's see how this works. Oh my gosh. So fancy with these long handles. I love it. I love the long handles. Oh my gosh. That's fun. Okay, these brushes are amazing. Everyone, go and buy a cat's tongue brush. Okay, yeah. This line and the control. Oh, if you're a control freak like me, strongly suggest. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's cool. It's like kind of hard too, the actual bristles. Like it's more firm. They don't move very much. But yeah, that gives nice control over my line work. That's going to be nice when I do the black lines around everything. Oh yes, that's exciting. Okay, so we want this to curl. Need more paint. It doesn't hold a lot of paint, which makes sense. And then I want to loop it around this way. Bring it down. Okay. Okay. And I want to bring it around this way. And I'll bring it this way too. Okay, and then we need to color it in a little bit. Darken up this area a smidgen, a tad. Okay, cool. That is working nicely. And then I want, what do we want? Let's darken that up a little bit. Okay. Try to get some of the details in here. Okay. All right, we need this to be a little bit darker in here. Cool. That should come down a little bit more, it seems. Where do I want to go? Like here, I guess. Okay, cool. That works. That looks pretty nice. Okie dokes. Okay. Slight turn in there. I want some of these to come out. Okay. Okay, I also want to put some this back up here. Yeah, I think that's a bit better. That should come down here. Okay, and I just want to make this a little bit more opaque. Now that it's dried a bit. Oh yes, and then I smear it with my hand. That's why you gotta watch. Don't put your hand in your canvas. That's good, you can fix it, no big deal. Cool. Okay, let's go to my green. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the same thing again. A little bit of water just to okay, and in here has to be a little darker too, so let's do that right now. I'm using like a really dark green. Get that in the middle there. I also think it needs to be more around here too. This yellow is a little too bright. And I'm just going to use water just to smooth out some of that line. Little bit. Okay, cool. I think that looks nice. We can put more detail in it as well. I think that needs to be a little darker too. Okay, we can hear. Okay. Just going over my green, just making it a little bit darker and emphasizing going close to the yellow lines that I made earlier. I'm just making this green more opaque. Okay. Okay, and then we want some kind of greeny strokes happening at the bottom there. Dark green. So kind of like it's coming from this area here behind it. And it's going to come around. Over that again. Okay, do that a little bit. A few little lines like that. Cool. What else? What else do we want to do here? Any more? And I'm going to still make it a little bit darker after that dries. Okay, and then I see too there's some lines that are going across. It looks more black though. So we'll leave that maybe for a little bit later. But there's some yellow going across. So I want to go back and put the yellow in. Some yellow. Alright. And I want to put some yellow here. And maybe a little bit thicker than that. I do want to put black line on top of that. I'll just do a little thicker. That's good. And I'm going to put another one like here. Okay. And then another one. Does that go all the way up? I guess so. Another one like here. Like that. Let's make this a little bit more bright yellow. Cool. I think that's good. And some of this might have to go over it again. Doesn't stand out with pure yellow. Okay, cool. So I'm digging that trunk. It's looking pretty good so far. Okay, let's move in to this blue area and keep working our way around. What have we got? 7:55. Yeah, it's gonna be a wee bit of time. Okay, boom. to this brush for a little wee bit and play with the blue. So I want it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm putting a little bit of white into my blue, get it a little bit lighter. Okay, and then let's just do this section here. So my white paint has been sitting out since when we first started, about 2 hours ago. So it's getting very thick because it's drying out. So I just put a little bit of water into it and then it helped refresh it. So now it's smoother for me to paint with. Just gonna make it a little bit lighter. I think I need it a bit lighter than that. Yeah, that's better. I think that's good. Cool. More angular lines going on. Some darker blue. Okay, cool. Okay, so now where do we want to go? I guess we'll do what? I want to do some of the brown areas down here, I think. How is everyone doing? I know it's like there's fewer and fewer people watching, and that makes sense because this is going on a little bit longer. I hope whoever's joining still is enjoying the process. Just gonna add a bit more paint there. Okay. Okay, so so in here we have some nice brown happening. Where does the brown go? Oh, I can. Okay, that's a good area for that brown. Yay, Nicole! I'm glad you're still here. All right, and I'm gonna put some brown up in here. Up in here, up in here. Fix my. So twist that up a little bit. And I think I'm going to put some down here too. Cool, cool. That's nice. I like that. Oh. A little bit darker than I did initially. Okay. It's a nice tan color. Okay, where are we going to go next? Then we're going to go into that orange. And maybe we want to plot out where we want that eye to be. And really, when we do the eye at this point, we're just going to be putting in kind of like a dark brown circle blob shape, because all the detail is going to be when we put in the black paint. So we actually have the eye outline. So keep that in mind. Yes, Linda. So Linda's asking, or she says that all the blues that she has always needs at least 2 or 3 coats. I totally agree with you. I find that most of the paints like that. This red in particular, this one is called Bright Red, is super thin. Is the thinnest I've seen. I had another red prior, I think it was Christmas Red, was the one I was using before, and that seemed to have a better, it was a stronger pigment, which I like that a lot more. But yeah, this one is like super, super, super thin. And I find like this blue, I do like this one. This one's Copenhagen blue, which I do like the way it looks a lot. The one I had before was Peacock blue, but it was a lot brighter. That was nice too. I didn't find that too much for those blues, but I'm not surprised that you're finding that. Just going back in, because I'm noticing that you can still see the green very much underneath this orange. So I'm just gonna try to cover that up a little bit more. We'll see if that works or not. Okay. All right, so now let's go into this orange, the orange. Okay, so we're gonna have some orange come here, around that curve. Again, my hand is always in the paint. And I'm glad you're still here too, Linda. That's awesome. Okay. Okay. Let's see like that maybe. Make it a little bit lighter on the side. My hand is almost in there again. Okay. Nice. Nicole says she's gone off script again, doing shades of pink and purple. I love it. Go nuts. Do whatever colors speak to you. Whatever ones work. I feel like I'm trying to follow this a lot because it is easier, especially when I'm on camera, to try to emulate what I see instead of trying to think about other shades and how I want it to go on. But it's definitely fun when you can use different colors and different approaches. And you can kind of like feel the colors. So just like, oh yeah, that feels right. I'm just trying to make some of these a little bit more. Okay, cool. Okay, I want to place where on my eye. So I'm going to use some brown to decide. So it's going to live about here. So I'm going to kind of create the area. Maybe a little bit darker. Okay. Okay. Let's get some of that color under here. some browns in this area. A little bit darker. Ooh, maybe a little bit too much. Yeah, we'll try it and see what happens. Put some in here too. And we have brown up here too. Maybe let's do that. Okay, so let's make it lighter. And cool. Awesome. All right. Let me continue at the top here and then I'll bring it down more into the middle there. Yeah, pretty happy with the way it's looking. I hope you are enjoying yours as well. Oh, my knee. It's being a little bit funky. All right, I think I need more yellow. Let's do that too. All right, let's put some yellow in here. Do. All right, so we want some yellow. Hey Tracy, it's a bit more than you can handle. Yeah, it's a lot. It's it can be a lot for sure. I don't blame you. Take a little break and come back. Because I feel it too. Like I'm doing it and I'm like, whew, okay, what's next? You know? I totally got it. But this is one of those that when you're done and you get, especially when you get those like black detail lines on there, oh man, it's so rewarding. Okay. No, that's awesome. Tracy says she's a beginner but wanted a challenge. This is the way to do it. It's definitely challenging, but it's really fun. And it is just like a bunch of color splotching. Yeah, I don't know. It's oh yeah, I almost just I don't know if you got that on camera. But that paint almost went in my mouth. Let's see. Oh yeah. There we go. It's that time. It's that time of the night where Liza starts eating her paint. No, don't actually do that, and I don't actually do that. Disclaimer for any children watching: you don't eat your paint. Not cool. Okay. Let us continue with the yellow. The dangers of long-handled paintbrushes. They make you feel really elegant, but they can also smack you in the face or get paint all over you or get paint in your mouth apparently. I think if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't have been able to do it on purpose. You know? Jokes. Okay, we're also going to want this to have yellow on it, so I'm going to start to put that in. Might as well start playing with the tusks. I'm going to put yellow on a big majority of it, and then I'll put some detail in with that green afterwards. Stick with that for now. And then like this. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, get some orange happening. Okay, and I want to play with this area here. So has these kind of like not spikies, but okay, get some nice orange happening. I'm gonna put some orange in here too. There you go. Nice little swooshes happening. There we go. Pretty cool. Hey Jody. Oh, thank you. It's challenging but very fun. Definitely try it if you get a chance. Okay. What else? What else do we want to play with this orange? Do 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 do. Maybe around the eye too. That makes sense. Cool. Right into this little area here too. I'm gonna go do that too. Okay, so I think I want to move. Oh no, I want to do a bit more orange. So where this yellow is, no, I want it to be a little bit lighter. I don't know if that's light enough, but we'll try. Another color in there. Okay. Okay, let's get that. This all this red, make it brighter, make it pop. Make this a little bit darker, and then I'll put some green and put all the detailing in here. Cool. And then I'm going to put some more red. Just to make it darker here too. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, now what's next? I don't know. The green, I guess? Let's do the green. My water is like very thin paint right now. It's so doused in pigment. I need a little bit of black in here. Oh, maybe that's too much black. Oh my goodness. Again, black takes over quite easily. Okay, but there we go. I got a nice dark green. Okay, let's continue the line over there. Okay, and then we had some blue. Okay, let's see if that's gonna go. I'm gonna fix that up. That's okay. I'm like not breathing when I'm painting certain parts of this too. I can feel. I'm like, that happens often. With this type of painting. I have to remind myself to breathe. Just take a breath. Okay, let's see. Right, and we also want to get down here as well with that darker color happening. I want it to be green. You know what? I think I am going to make this green. I can play with that. I like this green. It's not it. Okay, and then I want to get a thinner brush and do some funky swirls in that area. Aw, thank you so much, Jody. That's really sweet. Yeah, definitely watch the video and see how and have fun with it. Like I said, if you do paint, like I want to see your paintings though. And thanks so much, Jen. It's tricky, right? Like I still look at it and I'm like, like I have certain elements going on, but it's still not there yet, right? It's so like I said, it's hard to breathe sometimes when I'm doing it. I'm like, whew, okay, breathe out. So funny. What was I doing? Oh yeah, this area here is what I want to play with. Okay, let's get some of this murky water and let's get some swirly whirlies happening. Okay, let's go. Wee. 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 Alright, and then that. Little lines. That. Not really sure. Looks kind of random and weird, but I'll go with it for now. Not sure if I like that, to be honest. Looks kind of strange. Okay. What else? What else should we do? Oh yeah, there's some streaky excuse me. Some streaky stuff going on. Over there. Probably swallowed like a bug or something, I bet. Probably something flying in the room and that's what it felt like. It was like, what is going on? Okay, enough bug talk. Ooh. Ooh. some funky lines. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, what else? There's also some, what's happening here? Random little lines there too. Okay, and then I think I want to put a little bit more into here with like a bit of a, I don't know if it's gonna work. Do, do, do. Put some more lines in there. And then what else? Okay, so I think all of that is pretty well covered with a nice colorful base coat. And then we have to still do our tusks here. So let's do those, get some more color on those. Okay, like that. Okay, got my other brush. And what do we got here? Got some orange happening here. Okie dokie. Definitely needs another coat. You can still see. Okay. And then we want some green. And some of it lives over here. Okay. And some of this green lives over here. And then maybe like this. Okay. Then have some here too, but it looks like it's a little bit darker. I'm going to block it in right now. Okay, and then we need some blue, black blue, nice dark color. And we want that to come here, here. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna go this here. Okie dokie. Let's get some white. Okay. Okay, I think I might actually put some light on this one too. I'll get a little line there. Kind of like that. All right. Okay. And then let's get some more of that purpley color. Ooh, still very red. That's okay. A bit more shadow here and create a bit more of a straight line. Has a weird like knob here. I think it has to be a little bit straighter. I don't think it looks very nice right now. Okay, let's fix that. Should kind of go straight and out. Right? Yeah, that's better. Okay, cool EO. All right, so now you're still with me, which I see 15 of you are, which is very exciting. So thank you for sticking around. Not too bad. Well, I guess we are already at 8:42, so it is almost a 3-hour mark. So you guys are troopers. Amazing. And now is when we're actually going to go in and put in the black lines that's going to make this whole thing pop. So I'm going to use a paintbrush to put these lines in. It's totally understandable if you would want to use like a Sharpie or some kind of paint marker or something with more control. I totally get that. I'm going to go with my my paint. See how it goes. If it gets annoying, I might use a Sharpie later. We'll see. Sometimes it's nice to mix things up. See, there's a lot of dry paint in my black paint. Okay, so thin brush. I'm gonna try this, like, again, this like cat's eye brush, and see if it will give me my straight, nice lines that I want. Cat's eye, cat's tongue, the new one I was saying about. If not, then I'll use my other thinner brushes that I have, but I like this brush a lot. It seems really cool. Okay, where are we gonna start? Let's see. Okay. Logically, you know, it makes the most sense for me to start far away, so it'd be less likely for me to put my hand and smear everything, as we all know that is what I like to do with my when I paint. Oh yeah, let's knock everything down. After the 2 hour mark, everything goes a little bit crazy. Okay, so maybe that's not exactly what I want to do, but I'm going to start there. I'm going to start by kind of separating the ear from the rest of the elephant. Yeah, I'm going to be moving this around a little bit. You can still see what I'm doing. Okay, cool. Already, right? Like a little line like that, and I already am like, it already looks so much better. Okay. Okay, and so then we have like little lines. Okay, so here too. So here, I'm going to make this a little thicker. Actually, quite a thick area here. It is black. Oopsie. Okay. And let's see. Let's start by putting these little curvies. Where the ear is. Cool. But I want to make it a little thicker at the bottom. I think that looks more natural. Okay, and then this is actually quite thick here. There we go. And then we have lines that come out. I'm just going to put a little, again, mirroring what I can see. I'm just kind of copying what I see here. There you go. So just like, again, just putting on a little bit of black is making things pop really nicely. And again, I'm going to try to thicken up these bases so it looks like it's not like they're coming out of this like flat area. Maybe a little bit more natural like that. Cool. That is awesome. Okay. And then, what else are we going to do? You might want to add a little bit, kind of a little like curve in here. Kind of like mimicking that little line there. Okay. Next spot is what? There's lots going on. So, do we want to make that a bit darker? I think we will. I think I'm actually going to fill in this brown area in this black. Like that. Okay, and then let's bring some out. Okay, where is it gonna go though? It's very close to the eye, and this is where it's a little different. That's why I don't want to mess this up. So I'm gonna put a line here. Okay, cool. The line I kind of look like this. I'm gonna put Okay. Breathe. Okay, next is where? I think I want to do the eye, just so we can build from around there. I feel like if I put too many other lines, it might take away from it. So, let's see. Okay, so that's kind of where we have the eye set up. I'll add more detail to it afterwards, I think. But I want to make sure it's there. So now, then we have some detailing around it. And then we have a little bit more in there. Okay. So now, yeah, so now it's really coming to life with all these little swoops and swirls. It's funny because all this stuff is very, well, I guess the whole thing is pretty darn whimsical, realistically. But yeah, okay. So what else do we have? We have one that kind of follows this line. Okay. I'm gonna come down here, and then another line. That. Play with that a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, where else are we gonna go with this? Okay, and then now we're gonna add lots to this trunk. And what? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of come down. Ooh. Ooh, this is getting very thick. That's okay, we can make it work. Then so I'm just kind of following the curves that I see, and that's going to create all of the, the feeling of all of the folds on the elephant skin. And this has a nice thick line at the bottom, which I should put in now. Kind of go like this. Okay, and this is where I forgot to put in, not forgot, but I want to make it a little bit more like bumpy. It doesn't need to be like a smooth, have some bumps in it because it is a trunk and the skin is not perfectly straight. Okay, and some of these are going to attach to down here now. Okay, cool, cool, cool. my hand right in the wet paint every single time. Okay, and then a bit more debris. There we go. Okay, what's next? We have a one line that kind of comes up from here. It doesn't curve the way I want it to, but that's okay. And then we have some more lines everywhere. Okay, so this line like this. And some lines that are kind of going like that. Like that. Whew. Your stuffy nose. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then in here we need to get this curve, and then the tip of it. Okay. And then this comes out. Okay, and then I think, where else do we need more black? Oh yeah, and here too, I suppose, right? Oh yes, and this doesn't even have a line here yet. Just around the trunk. Okay, and then here. Okay, I'm just making it a little bit bumpier. Again, I made it a bit too smooth, and this is a trunk, and it should have a little bit of bump to it. There we go. And then where else do we need to put some of these little liney boos? So we got all of our shadow area here. We got that happening over here. I think I'm going to bring this out down here a bit more. And there is like a big line that kind of comes down. Cool. All right. Looks pretty awesome. That's my favorite part. When you put all like the lines on it, it just pops. Okay, and I did not continue this line where it should be, so this has to come. And just dissipate. Cool. I think I have all those lines. Yeah, I think so. So now it's just a matter of signing your name, really, and you can be done, or you can touch things up as you want to, right? So for me, I think I want to make this a little bit darker, like where the eye is, with brown. So I'm going to do that, I think, quickly before I sign off. I'm going to play with that a little bit. I feel like it's a little too light, so I want to make it more in shadow. So I'm just darkening the brown. It's around the eye a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a little better. Awesome. Okay. So really, like the next things that I would do, which I think I'm going to stop for now, but I would basically, if I wanted to touch up any of the like lines, because if, as you notice, there isn't black lines that like basically outline the entire piece. So you might want to go back over with some of the colors just to make it a little bit cleaner if you want to. It's up to you. I'm pretty happy with it, actually. I don't think I need to do too much of it. So yeah, so you just initial it up and then you're good to go. And that is our colorful elephant, abstract elephant. Pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoy that. Let's put this back up so you can see me momentarily. That, it looks awesome. Pretty cool, eh? So yeah, perfect. So I hope you all enjoyed our paint today. And definitely, if you painted along with me, please snap a picture of your creation and share it in the comments on the Facebook page, because I love to see what you've come up with. And yeah, and next, I guess on Saturday again, we'll have 3 more options for you, so you can choose the one that you love most, and then the one with the most votes will be the one we paint next week. So thank you all for sticking, everyone who stuck with me through almost 3 hours of painting. Oh no, definitely 3 hours. It's already after 9 of painting. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed painting with you. And have a fantastic week. Take care. Bye.